The moment someone records a hit record, or they have a little bit of buzz, people want to say they are a star.
Oga, welcome back from your vacation.
What'd you say?
From your vacation.
I did have a vacation, please. Don't destroy my market. I did have a vacation, no. None. I beg.
Please, I don't do it.
I don't. No vacation.
Oh, Southie now.
My brother. My brother. I don't like this country. Let's move on.
All right, fair enough. So
It's a problem because every time you leave this country, you realize why you shouldn't be here. Like your destiny deserves something better, my brother.
all right. So moving on to the topic of the day.
Yeah.
Talking about stars in the Nigerian music industry. Why do you think this conversation is important?
I feel like two things happen in the Nigerian music industry. The moment someone records a hit record, or they have a little bit of buzz, people want to say they are a star. And the moment anybody has anything that looks like a run, they want to say the person is an A-list superstar. And it's a very interesting conversation. It's always a very interesting assertion because I don't think people understand what it means for someone to be a star or to be an A-list star, or maybe someone who has been around for like maybe 2 or 3 years, they want to call the person a superstar. Yeah. It's not that easy. It's that people act like A-list star or superstar is bestowed because of simply releasing music or simply releasing 1 or 2 hit records. But the truth is, that stuff is earned. Don't get me wrong, it's very possible for someone to hit superstardom within like in their blue year. Do you understand? Yeah. It's very possible. Maybe someone like Techno in 2016, which was his blue year. It was the year he really genuinely blew up. Yeah. Or maybe Nigerian in 2019. Yeah. Or maybe Ashake this year. It's very possible to just come from underground, from upcoming, emerging to just... Because Ashake is meant to be contending for next rated next year. But next year we're going to be Ashake is Nigeria's Artist of the Year. It's that simple. So I don't envy the headies right now who have the non-distinguished privilege of trying to understand which category to put him. Because if you put him in next rated and you don't put him in Artist of the Year, there's going to be wahala. If you put him in Artist of the Year and it's not next rated, where he's going to get a Bentley, there's a wahala. So I really don't envy them right now. So the point is, I feel like nobody will have a problem with you calling Ashake a superstar right now. Okay. Simply because, bro, the guy put out, he sold out it's O2 Brixton 3 times within 5 minutes or 3 minutes of each other, right? And now because the demand is so much, I know someone that was waiting in line for the 3rd one, and there were 22,000 people waiting for 5,000 tickets. Yeah. Do you understand? That's ridiculous, isn't it? So now he's sad to announce that he's going to do a bigger venue. And people are speculating maybe it's OVO Arena or maybe the O2 itself, which is like 20,000. The OVO Arena is like 12,500. So it's very possible for people to, and so that means if you're selling, there's a rumored amount that he collected on his US store. I can't say it here. It's ridiculous, right? For someone that's your blue year, it's ridiculous. Like 5 figures, ridiculous, right? I remember when the Wizard David were first going to the US, the money they were collecting, it was good money, but it wasn't the money that someone like Ashake is, bro, it's crazy. And considering the fact that the dollar is the most powerful currency in the world right now, it's very interesting. So the point I'm trying to make is nobody will begrudge if you say Ashake is a superstar, but Ashake is the exception, not the rule. We need to understand that what defines a star or an A-list star or a superstar is the aggregation of what represents them as an artist, not just as an artist, as a personality, as a brand. Not just the amount of hits they've been able to produce. The only reason why someone like Ashake, I'm using Ashake because it's the current one that we can see. The only reason why someone like Ashake is going to go there and like have the biggest brand deals right now or whatever is because he's been able to, because of the consistency of the songs is amassed, and because the music is unique, he's been able to amass fans, not just listeners. Do you get it? Fans, people that are willing to die on the line, terminators, as he's calling them now. Do you understand? He's been able to amass those guys, and those guys now represent the brand equity. They are building his brand equity. He's not A-list yet, but he's a superstar, which brings me to another conversation. You can be a superstar without being A-list. You get? A-list is the cream of the crop, the top of the line, bro. That is verified air. Not a lot of people out there. Maybe right now, maybe 4 or 5 people, but a lot of people tell you 3 people. And to be honest, I can't argue against that. Do you understand? So that's where we are.
I'll need you to break this a little bit further. What separates a star from someone who has it?
Anybody can produce a hit these days. Just simply because of the fact that we have different types of hits. We have mainstream hits, we have niche hits. If you're an alter artist, for example, there's a chance that you might have a hit. If you're a Fuji artist in this country, your music might not reach. So, like I said, we have different silos in the country, right now. And there's a chance that your music might be limited to one silo and be a hit in that silo. The Nigerian music industry is so complex right now. And it's so interesting. It's an interesting dynamic and an interesting machinery. So a Fuji artist might have a hit, an alter artist might have a hit, but can you compare, can the Fuji artist go sell out like the O2 right now? Probably not. Can the Fuji artist also go to somewhere like Port Harcourt and sell at a 5,000 capacity venue? No. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, even if a Fuji artist can sell out a hotel, a new Fuji artist can sell out a hotel because it's a Yoruba land. Doesn't mean you can go to Port Harcourt and sell at 5K. But with Burna Boy, Wizkid sell out 10,000 capacity in Port Harcourt. Yes, he will. You understand? So that, like, there are differences. And because of the internet these days, we have people who are like internet sensations that people know the song, they don't know their faces. Like, they have listeners, they have the ears of people, but people don't know what they look like. If they were to walk here, people, okay. And sometimes a lot of people even look like they have hits because the records have a lot of numbers on the internet, on DSPs. But in real life, they perform the song and maybe like 5 people are standing up to jam the song with them. Do you know why? Because the world is so fragmented these days that a song might have healthy numbers. I was trying to break this down. A song might have healthy numbers and the artist might be balling, but they might not exactly have blown anywhere. Do you understand? If you have, the song might have 10,000 use cases on TikTok, maybe 10 million. It might be, the world has over 200 countries. It might be fragmented into like 150 countries. So that means you are not concentrated in anywhere. You're not concentrated anywhere. You are not a superstar anywhere, but you are making money. You are living good, right? You can go and perform theater shows or you can perform to 500, 1,000 people, and you're good. And because you're an influencer, you have followers, you can generate influencer money. So that's different. But what separates a superstar from someone that just has listeners or hits is, number one, it's a recognizable brand. They stand for something. A lot of people, the moment they miss one hit, it's over. Do you get? Like, they miss one song doesn't enter, it's over. But the real ones who are superstars, let's go with superstars first.
Yeah.
2 songs might not enter, they are still great. You know why? The real test of superstardom is success and consistency over a number of years, which is at least 3 to 5 years, or maybe 4 to 6 years. And what you need in those cases is a recognizable brand that's a fan base, an incredible fan base, not listeners. Don't get me wrong, not people that will migrate the next time your song is not sweet. Not people that are only listening to you because the music was marketed to them. They know the music more than they know you. What's the viability of the brand in terms of monetization, aside from the music? So I'm talking endorsements, I'm talking brand deals, I'm talking shows. Yeah, so if you're not doing 6,000, maybe like 4,000 everywhere you go, there are a lot of people that claim to be stars or superstars, but wherever you go in this country, you can't even, 500 people won't turn up to see you. If you were to be the one to plan it by yourself. And if it was just you get, it was just you performing. Not, you don't have any supporting acts, just you. Treating people for 45 minutes. You are not. And there's also situations where some people are not as successful, where they're not as big, but they can do for maybe 1,000, 2,000 wherever they go in this country. Maybe someone like Ibrahim, for example.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So it's a complex dynamic. So the factors that really determine it, the brand itself. A recognizable brand, a recognizable face. That if I was to see you on a billboard can lead to conversion for a brand. Do you understand? Not just because you are popping and someone decides to put you on the billboard. How viable are your image rights? A lot of people think they have image rights that are viable, but not exactly. What's the viability of your shows, of your touring? Can Live Nation wake up one day and give you $5 million to tour? Unlikely, bro. Like, what's your fan base? What's your numbers? Numbers also can determine sometimes the consistency of your numbers. Even your songs that don't enter, what's the numbers on those songs? So we need, all those things are very important. Now, the base level for anybody that is popping is Stardom. A lot of people are stars. Mohbad is a star. Zinoliski is a star. But the problem is, are you a superstar? But a lot of people won't say they're superstars. No, you're not. You're not. You can't single-handedly shake a country with a performance. So no, you're not. Is anybody going to give you $300,000 to put your face on a billboard? No. So it's all those things matter. So the value of a superstardom is the amount of commercial value that you have. It's not the amount of hits that you can produce in a year. What's the commercial value of your brand and your image rights? If you can tell me if it's competitive with the top guys, then we can talk about superstardom. We don't have up to 10 superstars in this country. We don't. We don't have, the A-list is maybe 5, maybe just 5, maybe, just maybe just 5. A lot of people say 3. You know the 3. Who is Bernard David? But I would say Olamide and Tiwa, just because, like, a lot of people will tell you that Tiwa has not had the best 2 years. She just got a deal with Techno. That's commercial viability, because she's a recognizable household name, face, brand. That we're talking about here.
All right, so you mentioned some names, but I'd like you to still go deeper.
Yeah.
Who is a superstar?
A superstar is brand equity, bro. Brand equity. We don't have, like I said, we don't have a lot of superstars in this country. We think we do, but we don't. What separates the superstars from the also-rans is some of the factors that I listed before.
Yeah.
But just because you're a superstar doesn't mean you're A-list. Kizano is a superstar, but it's not A-list.
Yeah.
Ashake is a freshly minted superstar, but it's not A-list. Do you understand? Kiss Daniel looks, if there's any artist that looks likely to break into this A-list right now, it's Kiss Daniel. Because it's been around for a while. He went down for a while and then came back up.
What do?
Because there's a fan base, it's a brand, commercial viability. If he throws a show today, it's going to be filled up. I remember 2019, Kiss Daniel threw a show on the same day as Wizkid. The hotel was filled. As Wiz, bro. As Wiz. The same night as Wiz. Some people even came to the show and went from there to Wiz's show. The turnout wasn't bad, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it was the best, but most people, if you throw a show the same day as Wiz, nobody's coming. Do you get? At some point, it felt like Mayor was going to break into that. But it's in and around B. And that's not bad. It just so happens that the guys at the top have refused to relinquish the reins of control to anybody. They are still the guys. But sometimes there are people who are like legends who still earn the benefits of being A-list. They were A-list in the past, but they've managed their brand so well that they will still enjoy the benefits of being A-list because they have the catalog, the brand is still there. Yeah. Maybe like Tubaba, for example.
I was going to say that.
Like D'banj. You can't compare P-Square. Nice was that generation, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
Those guys will still collect healthy amounts right now. If they package their show well and manage some of their tours well, they could go on theater shows across the world, yes. American tour, European tour, they could do it. Sell out 5K in some places, easy. Because the brand is there. I mean, it might be predominantly black people or Africans that will attend the shows, or like maybe a Wizard Bonner show where you're going to have white people singing SS and yee. Do you understand? There are some people like that. But sometimes some legends also do like benefits because they've been able to preserve the superstardom through the deep. Do you understand? Like the perception of grace and elegance and the brand is still there. Yeah. Even though the hits might no longer be there. Or the releases, the consistent releases might no longer be there. And there are some people who were superstars around the time that these legends were superstars as well. But they couldn't sustain the same level for whatever reason. So which brings me to my next point. Only the A-lists who were superstars at any particular time can only become legends who can still benefit from superstar potentials. The people who are just passing through superstardom, maybe for a couple years, will be the ones that will go down and will still enjoy the superstar treatment wherever they go. Do you understand? Like, let me give this example. Ice Prince and Tubaba and D'banj were superstars at the same time. Yeah. But right now, if you were to grade like the brand equity of both, you would definitely rank D'banj's or Tubaba's own ahead of maybe an Ice Prince's own. And that's because Tubaba and D'banj were superstars for a longer period of time than an Ice Prince. That's it. So which brings me to the conversation. The true test of superstardom is time.
How do we separate them?
The way to separate them, I think a lot of people know them, is just to apply the logic of some of the metrics that I've put forth recently. Yeah. Upcoming. I mean, a lot of people like to say emerging instead of upcoming. It's just semantics. Upcoming is, if you're upcoming, emerging, okay. Just like people that like to use if, it's like emerging like a euphemism for upcoming. Yeah. Everything is upcoming. So let's say upcoming fast rising, let's say star, superstar, and maybe legend. Sometimes a lot of fast rising people never ascend to become stars. Never. It just happens like that. So maybe when they want to address them, they want to say the star. No, you're not a star, bro. And sometimes some people just never go from star to superstar. It's what it is. So the currency is what determines some of these things. And the perception of logical people, not stans, not people outside the people, not people who can't even separate genres from each other. The commercial viability of the brand and the music and the fans is what determines superstardom or A-list. And how resonant the brand is and how resilient the brand is that can go through anything and come back bouncing, standing up. Before Made in Lagos, this was shaking. Look at where he is right now. Bonner had a 3-4 year spell where he came back with outside, everything remained gidigba. David had the shaky one with Son of Mercy. Celia didn't work. See what? Do you understand? So it's the viability of the brand. And that's all. At the end of the day, sit down, ask questions from the right people, and they can break it down to you. But when it comes down to it, when you have conversations about certain people, in their names that when you're we discuss with brands all the time when they're looking for brand ambassadors. And maybe we throw up names, maybe I throw up names. Some brands will be like, when the brand says, I think we can do that to somebody from the first time. You're not that big. But when you throw up certain names and the brand says, are you sure this person is going to be available? How much do you think they're going to charge? That's a superstar. That's facts.